What's up, guys? I am back with another league race. This one is at Zandvoort in the Netherlands, which is historically Max's track. And historically, I mean last year, 2021, he won the race. And then this year, the race just happened yesterday. I'm recording this on Labor Day, Monday, September 5th, and Max won the race yesterday. Hopefully that didn't spoil it for you, but it is over 24 hours old, and by the time this video comes out, it'll be probably 48 or 72 hours old. So hopefully you know what happened in the race by this point, or have at least watched the highlights or something along those lines. But anyway, I digress. It takes me off of my main point, which is this is a track that I actually enjoy quite a bit. It's a track that you can't really do a lot of overtaking on outside of the DRS zones, and not even really this DRS zone that I'm currently in. I really kind of feel like the pit straight is pretty much the only place that you can really get a truly safe pass done. And there are other places on the track that you can pass, but they're a little bit dicey. So you end up with a lot of scenarios where maybe you're just sort of going wheel to wheel with someone rather than getting a chance to pass, unless you're just being really aggressive with your approach. But I come across the line, end up with a P18 there, and I'm pretty sure that sticks, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that does stick to the end of the qualifying session. I'm not unhappy with this, but I do think that with a better run, I could have unseated Juzzy in P17 there. I was decently close to him, but you can see my strategy there. I'm going soft to hard, and I don't know what it was, but there was something about preparing for this race. The mediums just absolutely did not work for me at all. I mean, I really, really struggled with the mediums, and it was a nightmare, frankly. So I decided there was no way I was going to put the mediums on in this race unless the situation demanded it, based on maybe I have to do an early pit stop, or I guess not an early pit stop. I could have just gone to the hards, but maybe an off-time pit stop that was something that I wasn't really expecting. So I really wanted to stay off the mediums here, and I'm hopeful that the soft to hard strategy will help me get a seriously good result here, because I did a lot of prep for this race, and frankly, I was feeling pretty good, and I was somewhat hopeful that if maybe I could take advantage of some other guys just making mistakes or getting DNFs, as a lot of guys in this league tend to do, I could maybe capitalize on that with a really nice result. So you'll be able to watch the race here and see if that's something that I can do, but that's just sort of my general thinking. I don't get off to a great start. I'm P19 at the end of the first lap, and that continues on. Here we are finishing up the third lap. I'm still P19. Moose is very quickly catching me. He's on mediums, I'm on softs, so that's obviously not what you want. The whole idea when you start on softs and the guys around you are on mediums is that you can hopefully kind of gap them a little bit. You build up an advantage with your soft tires, and then ultimately they will probably end up catching you, but the hope is that you can build a bit of a lead while you're on softs and their mediums are not really working like your softs are. Unfortunately, I was not able to make that happen, but as you can see, I did pass Juzzy, who had a bit of a spin, and I will just say one thing. Juzzy went no assists in this race, which I think is awesome. So he and I are the only no assist users in the league for this race. I mean, I'm the only no assist user usually, and there are other guys who are capable of doing no assists, but I think for one reason or another choose not to go no assists during these races. But Juzzy in this race did go no assists, and he also spun a couple times. You just see me just pass him. He was, I think, 18 seconds ahead of me before I just passed him, and I think he had a bit of a moment, and I don't know if he hit the wall or what, but I was very quickly, obviously, able to catch him a bit there, and the hope is that I can build a bit of a lead, but I'm pretty sure he's going to pit right after me, if I'm not mistaken. You see him. No, he's not pitting, actually. He's racing along with me, and we get a bit of racing here. You see the red arrow on my right. I'm being very careful not to run into him, and to give him the space going around into the first turn. And I do give him the space, probably maybe a little bit too much space, to be quite honest with you, but I would rather leave too much space as opposed to inciting contact over over P18. You know what I mean? So probably better to keep it clean at that point in the race. Fast forward a bit, you see Alex in the pits, you see Juzzy slightly behind him. Juzzy's about a second and a half ahead of me. This is, I don't know that I needed to do this, but I got the blue flags. I let ISI Boy by. I thought he was closer when I let him through, and he was not very close. I let some guys here, again, get the blue flags, let 2 cars through. And every time I do this, I'm sacrificing serious time to Juzzy, but in my opinion, it's the way you should handle getting blue flagged. I mean, I'd rather not get blue flagged, right? I'd rather be on the lead lap. But if I am going to get blue flagged, then I'm going to respect those blue flags, and I'm going to let these guys through at the first chance that I get safely. You see here William Butlicker, who's, you may be able to tell, is on PC, is our first crossplay participant. And this is the first race where we've had guys from PlayStation and PC, and he's the first edition. So Big Ride Guy just flies through us right there. I would have let him by. I mean, I saw that I had the blue flags going into the first turn, and I would have let him by, but he took advantage of the fact that we were ghosted and blew right through us, which I guess is completely fine. But I will say down the road, I am planning to remove ghosting or turn off ghosting. I think that people oftentimes don't respect blue flags, and it's largely because they know that they're ghosted and will be able to just fly through a guy, or I'm sorry, that a guy would just be able to fly through them. So I'd like to avoid that, and I think turning ghosting off is one way to make that happen. Anyway, that's probably a conversation for another time. But you see here, William Butlicker and I, after Big Rye Guy got through us, we're not exactly wheel to wheel here, but we are in very close proximity, and it's looking like I'm going to get a really good opportunity for the overtake going down the start-finish pit straight. So you see me there, get the DRS, and I get by him. And unfortunately, I just take too much of that curb, and I'm just beached, and I completely spin off, and he is gone. And these guys get through. I was blue flagged by them. They very quickly and very easily got through, and I'm back to racing. But at this point, I've lost a good 5.5 seconds to William Butlicker, and I'm in trouble. And more guys with blue flags. I just don't know a good place to let people by with blue flags there. And I did what I could. But unfortunately, I'm still sacrificing time to Juzzy behind me, who I will say has pitted and did get a 5-second penalty when he pitted because of the fact that he was speeding in the pit lane. So that is going to buy me a little bit of time here. But at this point in the race, I need to not let Juzzy gain 8 seconds on me for the rest of the race, which I'm hopeful that I can do. But it remains to be seen if that's something that's a real possibility for me. He's faster, I think, than I am. You see William Butlicker there. Got a really slow exit out of that turn. I don't know if he had a bit of a scary moment and was slow on the throttle or what. But he and I get very close here and get some decent racing opportunity. I was able to go past him there. He might have just been playing for DRS at that point. I'm not completely sure what the situation was there, but it would make sense that he was playing for DRS because he seemed like he had the pace as soon as he got it. And I'm just trying to give him the room here, again, to not make the contact and leave him the space going around into the first turn. And I did safely. No contact there. I don't know that I think there was one time when I made contact. Okay, this is weird. Look at that. There was a bit of a glitch there, and he just freaking flies off into the sunset just with a crazy exit. I want to say that was almost some kind of desync where he was already way ahead of me, and I just couldn't see it on my screen because he absolutely just flew from there. But fast forward a bit, I think he got not a great exit out of that turn, and I get the DRS. I fly by him. Juzzy is right behind me, and I don't know that I felt it, but I get this notification. Yeah, warning collision with Juzzy B, but I didn't feel anything at all. But he absolutely is in the mud from that. And I haven't seen his onboard, but he lost a good 6 seconds on me after he made contact with the back of my car. So I think he made contact with the back of me. Maybe it was a bit of a lockup or something, and he just absolutely flew. So that's going to buy me a little bit of time, which is nice. But I do have 12 more laps that I need to keep Juzzy at least. I need to stay within 5 seconds of Juzzy in front of me. So That's what I'm going to try to do. I thought about having to go right there down the inside. Ended up not doing it. Just felt like it was a bit of an aggressive play. I probably would have ended up in the side of the Alpine, so I decided it probably wasn't very smart. And not to mention, he had a lot more pace than I did throughout this race, so I was pretty sure that he was going to get by me at some point. And if you look now, he's a good 14 and a half seconds ahead of me, so I don't think it would have really bought me much to make an aggressive pass on him there, because I think he would have been able to get past me pretty easily after that. So I think it was probably the right move. You see Jesse get by me, and this right here is, I think, a killer crusher in the coffin type move. I've got the blue flags. I start letting these guys through as safely as I possibly can, but I sacrificed a whole lot of time to Juzzy. That was a good second and a half that I lost to Juzzy with that little maneuver, and I have even more blue flags coming up behind me, and there's a good chance I'm going to lose even more time to Juzzy. So this is not good, and I was trying to do this safely and let these guys by, but there's just not a good time to do it at that part of the track, I don't feel like. So as soon as I felt like it was safe, I'd move over and let these guys through, but they were already going through me with their ghosts, so I don't know that it really made much of a difference. But again, trying to respect the blue flags. The bad news is I'm now 6.5 seconds behind Juzzy, and even with his 5-second penalty, I'm in big trouble. And my only hope is that he has to listen to the blue flags on those same guys that I did, and he will lose some serious time, because I'm now almost over 10 seconds behind Juzzy after that batch of blue flags that I went through. So I'm in big trouble as far as it relates to getting P16 in this race, but you see that Juzzy just lost a whole lot of time in front of me. And I don't know what the context was, but I'm thinking it might have been another spin, and that was pretty much the only thing that helped me out there in this case. And I'm kind of wondering if this is my last lap of the race, and it is confirmed right there. I didn't realize that I'd actually been lapped 2 times right up until the end of the race there, but it did kind of feel like it was near the end of the race. So the good news is I finish within 5 seconds behind Juzzy, and with his 5-second speeding in the penalty pit lane, I take P16, which is not a great result. Not great at all, but frankly, I think the blue flags really killed me in this race. But I did have some good wheel-to-wheel racing, and frankly, that's what it's all about. So we'll keep building on this, and we will do better.